big trade. New big trade. New big trade.
What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing this wonderful evening? So, big question, right? What did we title the video? Is the market crashing? Still all right. Just figured, everybody else does. James, no credits. Jamie, Gray, Shep, Clipper, Aaron, Bearish Bull, Alex, Carl. What is going on? He said, I don't want to accidentally close my whole short instead of taking half. Oh, shit. What's up, long and short? Yeah, that's the worst when that happens. All right, well, let's take a peek inside here and see what is going on. Sorry that we got on a little bit late. As you guys can see, you can probably understand why. Had a little bit going on. But yeah. What's up, Patrick? Thanks, man. Young Cryptic, what's up, bro? DJ. What's up, bro? So first thing we need to do is actually go over to our TPO and let's take a peek at what value has been doing. Let's get rid of these lines. Why in the world haven't they been able to fix this yet is just mind-boggling, but what can you do? So we can see that value, we're in this balance area, right? And so when we're looking at this, we have this balance area here, right? Value pretty much, right? Peaks above, doesn't take, comes back down into value. You guys have been I've been talking about going down for a little while, but you guys have been hearing me talk about this if you're in the live streams about how we peaked above and we came back down because we've done it previous. Gonna miss the days. Right. So as we come down here, right, look for the value down below. And we talked about this last week. As this value is kind of forming, I mean, it's a pretty big value area, but once it starts to get into this lower level, probably below this 45,449 level, you're going to start to see some badness, right? I think a lot of this is caused by, the US market as well, and there's a lot of news out that's a lot of global news that's coming out this week. And since crypto is, global, it's paying the price right now. Oh, you have those domain names? I think you were working with James with that probably. So let's take a peek around the block. Take a peek at ETH. Right, ETH has been getting smacked all weekend. So no surprise here in ETH. I think people thought Bitcoin was getting a little bullish, but I was able to catch a nice little fade on Bitcoin earlier, or I mean on ETH earlier. It actually turned out pretty nice. But yeah, ETH's been just getting smacked down. Didn't even have really a balance zone. It just had kind of this peak above, fail, peaked high above, still didn't fill all the way back. Didn't even get up to the point of control. Sold down, and so now we're seeing it test kind of this lower end of balance. So for ETH, yeah, it's gonna draw like a million lines on here. I trade ETH a lot, like in intra moves a lot on ETH. But yeah, right here, this can be our line in the sand on ETH. 31.5173 is where we'll look for them to really hold if it comes down there. Right, there's some other spaces where it can get some support, right? It bounced right off basically a previous POC. So just kind of pay attention to it and see how it goes. Let's take a look at ADA. You don't want to have to hodl your ADA position for another 3 months again. Where did you get in at? It's getting close to my entry, actually. I get at 187. What's up, Stack?
New big trade.
Yeah, basically, I mean, ADA is kind of in the same position ETH was in. Put in a little bit of value, kind of a big value, right? This was like a lot of that pump. Put in a little bit of value, peaked above, came back down, settled for a bit, but then traded below, and then got accepted below. Found some selling, found some supply down here, and then still taking the low. So look for that news, because this wick right here is news related. Remember, off that Litecoin news. So look for that to get traded. How far it's going to trade down into there? That would be all the way down to 202. Cam, what's up, man? Oh yeah, you've had ADA since it was like 30 cents or something.
New big trade.
Get in a dollar? Oh, that's fucking dope. All right, let's take a look at coin. So this Litecoin kind of sparked the riot. You can see it looks real similar to a lot of the other charts. And so here's that news event, right? That's what this big spike was up above, right? Just to gather up supply and bring it back down. Right, so they gathered up all the supply, let these people trade up. Where did they trade up to? Basically nowhere, no value, and have now sold down. And now that they're pushing down to this 160, trying at least. Normally when you see how it's on the lows too. Normally when you see something like this, when it has this big news event, they put out this fake news basically, because I mean this week went all the way up to 236, right? So there's some, something in there. And now this thing's just pushing lows. Take a peek at my favorite one. Everybody knows I love BNB. So it came right to our level. What's up, Andrew? And so with BNB, we've been talking about like relative weakness in BNB for, I don't know, I mean weeks, right? Since because the short was 44, it was 488, I think, what we got short from originally on BNB, and then we held it for a little while. And I'm back in short on BNB as well, BNB and Bitcoin actually. But so with these lows coming up here, if they don't hold, and you can see they're basically on the exact same spot, right? And so what we're going to look for, because it's going to be a tricky play down here, if you haven't been in the short, right? But I think the way that this one is setting up is probably going to be the easiest one to play. What you're going to look for is look for it to trade down here and look for how the bar closes. If it closes below our level, next bar opens and doesn't trade above, that's your short, your easy stop, right? And if it trades back into value, you don't want to get caught in that. But tight stop, trade it back down. Now let's find some levels on where we're going to trade this thing down to. Remember I said I'm pretty much ignoring this Newswick. I don't think it has any validity. So that's where my targets down are going to be 82, 72, 62, and 48. Kind of crazy that they were all 10 points apart, right? Almost like this thing traded on a fucking pattern. Crazy. I love to hate BNB, yes. I just like that it goes down because it's such a little shit talker. Get it go, dude. It's just getting massacred. It's so nice. Ooh. I mean, just since we got on this chart from 93 to 88, there's that next level. Let's see if we can get this 82. That's where we should see. I mean, we already ran these stops right here, so we're not worried about that. At this 82 level, this will tell us if we have enough steam to really get some downside on here. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to contain myself if we break this level. There goes BNB. Yep. A little bit of buying here. Just hate looking at on this fucking chart.
New big trade.
$60 ticks and it still just zoomed out. Fucking insane. There we go. That's not bad. So see all the volume get put in at the bottom right there? Not great. There goes everything. Grumpy, what's up, man? What's good? Yeah, just look for him to hold the singles. This is a brand new bar, right? It's only been open for 4 minutes, so that's a pretty big excess. If you ask me, that's a lot of volume down there for us not to trade back to it. So if we stay above the 38 or yeah, 388.3. No bueno. Need to get below there. All right, let's take a peek at the US markets. Right contract. There we go. This is the Z. Yeah, that's right contract. So here we are, kind of in this previous balance zone. We traded basically to the bottom range of it so far. So where did we get down to? 81.50. I can tell you who's happy right now, guys. It's James. Let's see. Can I open this? James sent me this. So James and I were trading from the open. We got off right before the stream. Heading home tomorrow, looking forward to some trade room. Nice, that'll be fun. He had a pretty good day. Or he's having a pretty good day. But yeah, for the ES, I mean, you can see overnight inventory is pushing short, right? We have some, major levels down here. We drew this balance zone, so it would be interesting to see if we can hold this level. See if we look on the TPO find. We put in some nice single prints up here. Jesus. Roll back. So here we go. These are kind of the levels that we're coming up to right here. This is where price is at now, 82. So these are going to be some significant levels down here. See if it's going to hold. Right, these single prints are overnight, so they're not that important. But when we look at this more on like a macro view, right, we kind of see it's kind of annoying to look at like this. I don't have the other one loaded up right now. Well, let's do this. When you look at it like this, on a more macro view, like a daily chart, right, you can still see, right, where the trend is at. And let's switch this over to actually the SPX, because that's what's actually going to matter. So here we can see a consolidation zone, right? We're making lower lows. Where's our next support? Right around here. Where's that? Look around that 4,400. Or 44, yeah, 44. Well, it's going to open up actually lower, right? Price out right now. 43.83. So it's broken through this level overnight, right? This is SPX, so it's only showing day session. So what we'll look for is the bottom of that range is 43.80, which is almost where it's at, 43.83 right now. We have some big bids on the 30, 43.80, 43.75, 43.73. So there's some big bids, forming up down here to try to buy this. But the next level that we want to take a peek at is going to be, here's our first zone. How ugly these charts are when they're only a day. I would say the next place is going to be here, where we have this little gap down at 43.20. And then back down here, 42.6. As far as, do I think the market is crashing? No. Right? It doesn't appear to be, even if you measure the move, I guess, like from the top to where we're at now, it is 2% total, and that's 15 days. That's not very much, right? For those crypto traders out there, I know you're thinking 2%, it's fucking nothing, right? Pretty big for the equities market, but you can see we have some levels that we should see some demand, right? Where I start to get like really bearish is going to be right around where this last kind of pullback happened. You can kind of see boom, boom, we're kind of riding it up. Same thing on the way up. We had a couple hiccups. People didn't really buy in. One thing I wanted to show you guys too, because I hear it a lot. Like a lot of people say, if I would have had a $1 million account, I would have made $1 million or some shit like that, some bullshit, right? So take a peek at how these days trade. Right, some of these days you might have thought, oh well, it's going down, but like these are hard sessions to trade sometimes, right? Especially because this thing wasn't just like going down; it was like kind of bouncing back and forth, right? So just some food for thought. Does it sound crashing? Let's take a look at the QQQ. Actually, here, let's see. Go back to our 30-minute chart. Get some levels for the rest of our overnight session. Be super cool if it showed split sessions. So this indicator is so buggy. It just like loads of on profile sometimes it doesn't. Well, anyways, with ES, you can kind of see that we're kind of just in a pretty tight range, right? Even if you take the tops of these. So what we'll look for is this print back up into kind of this little value before we had that big sell off the open, and to see if it holds, right? If it doesn't hold, this thing's gonna head back down. My big level that I will be watching tomorrow when we trade is gonna be the 17, the 44, 44. This is the SPX. Let me see. 17 level right here. Because this is a level that kind of battled at, right? You can see daily it's still in balance, right? So we're going to be opening up on a gap to the downside, and you can look at, look at this. Yeah. You can see it's putting in a nice rebound. So hopefully James got out of that trade. I'm sure he did. He was up by like a fucking ton, so little buying coming in. Right on cue, guys, right? What did we say? 81 quarter? What do we say on the other chart? Yeah, I can look at BTC again. Definitely looks like it's crashing. But I mean, that's the thing is like, you know, this is how markets trade, right? Um, oh, you should have had hedged with UVXY. I mean, what did you expect to happen? Boy told you that Bitcoin's to 100 racks. How's that working out? Let's go back to, well, let's check out a couple of other things. I wanted to look at some Eot reports real quick as well before we get back on the charts. Eot reports. Okay. So here's our COT reports. We can see for Bitcoin futures, they took away 119 and added 73. So almost, it's about 75% right here. So basically everything that they took off the long, they stuck on the short for the most part. And you can kind of see getting back to close to even, right? We've seen it, you know, diverge pretty big where you have this big short position on Bitcoin and a big long position on Bitcoin, and then it came back together. And so you're seeing it come back together now again. So you just sold everything right now. It's going to 29K. I hope it does. I have a short on Bitcoin. But yeah, so that's that one. Let's take a peek at the ES report. Ooh, look at that. So this is what profit taking looks like. Only 2,000 added on the short. So they're hedging against the short. So they're not really getting short, right? But they're taking profit. On the ES, Bravo? I don't know. That's a tough one tomorrow. Because this is, I mean, this is what you're seeing. You're seeing, this is what causes, this is what can cause a, you know, some panic selling as well, right? Um, and then what will happen is you'll get people selling. Whoever's early is going to get in first, and whoever's late is going to have to get over to the futures, um, and get short or buy some puts or sell some calls. They're going to have to do something. So there's going to be a lot of volatility this week, I imagine, especially if some big supply starts to hit the market. Oh, okay, James Simmons, he's done now. 80% profitable, all short trades. Pretty good. This is our head trader James Neal. For those of you guys that don't know, he's 3 a.m. trader in the Discord. All right, let's take a peek back at good old BTC. So Bitcoin, you can see, has put in some single prints, right? And we see we're staying below them. We're back to where all that volume is at. Push this in. Look, we're below our zone, but we need to get back below this zone. We want to continue to the downside, because that's going to be kind of the low end of this balance range over here. And then below that, you're really going to have to start looking at some of these lows. And look where we're almost to, guys. 44,000. Who's been watching the videos with us for a while and remembers? I mean, I don't want to say I told you something, but I mean, you could watch the videos back and you could see the videos. I think we were at 40. I think I can't remember where we were at. I'm pretty sure it was up here, but I was saying that we were gonna go to 44,000. So close. Be cool to be right, but not that big of a deal. You think we're heading towards 4,000 or lower on the S&P? 4,000? Um, that's a long ways down, man. There's a lot of support on the way down. The levels down I had were I marked them on the SP there. Like 43.74, 43.20, 42.57. Those are gonna be like the big levels. And that's still 200 points away from the 4,000. Should I enter a short now? I don't know, man. I mean, that depends on a lot of stuff. What's it gonna be on? What's your leverage? What's your risk management? What's your trade style? I mean, so many things to think about. One thing I do want to look at also while we're on is Apple. We can see Apple getting crushed, right? But it's coming into a little balance zone. But if it breaks below, you've got some room to the downside, down to 141. So, the all-time high next month. So, if Apple breaks down below this like little balance zone that we have down here, um, we could see some real downside down to like 142 is like kind of the first spot where it might catch some buyers. Then we have a real strong support back here at 137. So, but what this can do is because of the weight that it carries, it can really drag the S&P down, right? So what we'll look for tomorrow, right? We're already going to gap down on the open. Everybody knows that. So we're going to have to wait for a pullback. We want to see where it gaps down to and where it pulls back to as well. Right? I'd like to see it gap down to like this 144, or just completely skip this and gap down, and then at that point I'll just sell calls. Those people that will be buying calls here are just gonna be praying for a win, right? Trying to buy the dip. I'll just sell somebody a falling knife. Unfortunately, they're forcing me. But it looks like we are going to oversell into 4,000. That's a big sell, right? You're looking at 136, 138 Apple. The buy or what?
New big trade.
Yeah, there's that big support here. Yeah, 138. It depends. You just have to watch the gap rules. So like here, let me find this other chart. I'll bring it up and over. We can see this. In new tab. Here. Yeah, I'm just connecting this data real quick. Yeah, it didn't load. All right, so long, but figure it out. All right, so here is Apple, and so what I was alluding to was this level down here is going to be that 144.50. And then, I mean, below, we're just looking at like, it's not looking great. That could be a big level at 144.50. Yeah, we'll see how it gaps down. So if it gaps down below, if it opens below this level, I would, what's going to hold me in the position, and we can, now that we got a chance to look at the TP, I'll go to the other chart so it's easier to look at. What I'm looking for is if we gap down below here, I want to see it stay below there. Like I want to see this gap down get committed to by people selling, and I want to see it push, right? And then I'll qualify trades as we go. But I want to see commitment, right? And that's what you want to see on some of these trades, right? If you get below like these big levels that you're making, right? Even if you're on even if you're on Bitcoin, right? Let's say, and you've got a big level coming up, this prior point of control, let's say, right? This is one of your levels. Well, if you're shorting that level, what you want to see is commitment from sellers when we cross the level, right? If it just kind of comes like this and just like meh, you want to see them like push it, right? Even if it draws back a little bit, but when it goes through there, you want to see them just like, wreck all these people that are just hiding down there, trying to stay in their position. Right? So is it crashing? I don't think I'd get that paranoid yet. But it does have some support levels that if it does break, it's gonna go. And there's a lot of news in the market this week with the oh yeah, there's a big delay on YouTube. Yeah, there's a lot of news coming out. Global news, interest rates. I think England might raise their interest rates back up. So they're going to do some quantitative easing, right? Some tightening. China, there's some big news with China, and I got to read a little bit more about it. But basically, what's happening is, and we all know that companies are run basically right off of debt, right? So basically, what's happening is China is going to let one of their biggest companies fail. Like, so imagine if, let's say, well, let's say like Walmart just failed, you know, and they didn't get bailed out like those car companies back in the day. But that's not on the same level. Like, Walmart's like can engulf those car companies, but like, you know, that's how big of a company that China might just say a good old no thanks to in their country. So it could affect the market, right? Because they're saying that they're doing it because they want to save their country. Um, is the ES going to be, or is the ES, is the US going to be influenced by that? What's up, Progressive? A lot of analysts say 10% correction is coming. That is why. Yeah, bravo. Is this your first time in the stream? Maybe it will crash. It'll be on the next matter of days. Yeah, so it's tough if you're just getting your information from YouTube, or like just the analysts and like the stocks and stuff. Like if you go up here, you can you like put your stock screener, you can look and see like oh, there's a way to add like the analysts ratings or something like that. Right? It doesn't, none of that shit matters. Thing. All right, and if it's just on YouTube, like try to zone it out as much as you can. Right? Any news that we're getting, especially through the internet, it's gonna be late, man. So, and they've been calling this 10% correction on the S&P, uh, shit, like they've been calling that since 37. Where's the daily chart at? I'll show you right where they've been calling it because I remember the day. Yeah, welcome, man. Welcome. Make sure you jump down and join our Discord. They've been calling it since like right here. 35. Oh, it was even lower than that actually. 33. Yeah, that's where it's at. This is where they've been calling that from this date, wherever this cross is here. From here. 33.97. And if we look, I don't know if it was 10%, maybe. Let's see. 11%. 8%. And see, this is where this huge short position came from. And this is why the S&P is basically fucking doubled almost. I mean, it's gone up like 100% from where it was at during the crash. Thanks for the sub, Bravo. Appreciate it, man. And so we had the crash, right? Everyone got short. More people got short again. More people got short again. More people got short again. Big short came in here. We corrected 10%. Everything on YouTube was like, we're gonna fucking die. It's gonna be worse than the 30s, blah, blah, blah. Right? They got their fucking heads ripped off. They got stopped out. They shorted again. Bunch of savages, right? Stopped out before, kept shorting on this whole way up, right? And then slowly they've been just taking profits, taking profits, taking profits. So, you can see it's getting looks like it's getting a little bit tired of just making people embarrassed maybe. But it's and if we were to take this low, I mean, it hasn't touched this trend at all. Right? So the trend is obviously up. That's the thing is like for me to get like bearish, like yeah, I'll take shorts. But for me to get like really bearish, I gotta see some levels break. We're not breaking any levels really. You know what I mean? Looks like this. Maybe we can get a nice little pop and drop and keep climbing. But I mean, this thing is just parabolic for the most part. Besides the previous all-time high break when people got too short, just up. Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff ending at the end of the month, Bravo. Like, for the U.S., the forbearance thing ends the last day of this month. September is typically a down day or down month. Um, what's interesting too is if we look at this in a monthly chart, so you can see September is almost engulfed August, right? As far as the lows go. And the last time, and well, then, and this is relatively new month, but the last time that we had that, hey, thanks, Bravo. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. But the last month that we had like kind of a fully engulfing candle like that was down here at the bottom. Is March, right? So we go back, and this is what I was looking at. So here's September. Trades basically sideways, then trades down in December, February, March. September was up. September was down, but barely. Here's September, continuation of a bad August. September's up. September's up. Here's September's down, a continuation of August. And so this is what I'm talking about. So normally,
new big trade.
If September has been down as a continuation of August, here's September, here's October, it doesn't, I mean, it hasn't been going lower, right? So I wouldn't expect us to go lower than, I mean, really 42.16. That's where, I mean, that's going to be a serious level break, that 42.16 level. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. Just a nice quick update. You know, we've got some big stuff going on this week, so make sure that you guys are you know, being safe. Expect some volatility tomorrow. We will be on the live trade room tomorrow. He wants me. Good work. Thumbs up. My stock messages. Oh shit, my bad. What stock messages? Yeah. Yeah, I could sell off because of the interest rate rise. Definitely. Yeah, we have a Fed speaker, I think, on Wednesday. Yeah, so I'll be on there at 5:30. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Bash. Appreciate it. Hey, messages. Oh. Madison Square Garden. Thanks, so credits. I think it's right at the top. The volume on this stock. Not really much resistance if it breaks the high up to 186. And then above that, 188. And that's probably all-time high. Yeah. Be interesting to see if it keeps going because of the rest of the market. Remember, guys, just remember that, you know, you don't need to catch a falling knife, right? Let this thing build some value, right? Let it build some value. All right, watch these single prints above, obviously. But let this thing build some value. Let it trade a little bit before you decide, okay, this is when I want to get long, right? Let it find its bottom. If you're not in the short, right, even let it pull back, right? It's pulling back here, breaks a low, right? If it breaks another low, you could see some more downside. You know, find some liquidity that you're gonna try to run through before you just decide, oh, okay, the market's gonna crash, I'm gonna get short, right? Where's that? Right, and so we can see, you know, what we're waiting for. Wait for a couple of these lows to get broken. Wait for this POC to get broken here. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to buy stuff like that. Like it's tough to buy like in an area where you're seeing like resistance, right? What you could look for, and something that I look for like on these kind of moves, right? So let's fix this. And I guess it'll be easier to show it on here. So let's say we're looking at this level, right? And we come down to it, tap it, maybe tap it again. We go to tap it a third time. I want to see it run it. I want to see it. Like, I don't want it to pause and then run it. I want it to just run it. I want to see that big bodied candle, right? Or that TPO just shoot down the middle of my screen, right? That's what I want to see. That's what's going to help me decide, okay, I'm going to stay or I'm going to go. You're looking at Visa and Apple? Yeah, I'm looking at Apple. That's mainly my big watch tomorrow. I might get some strangles on Apple tomorrow. I got to drive tomorrow too. So basically tomorrow what's going to happen is we're going to do live trade room. I'm driving down to Santa Cruz because I got my appointment on Tuesday in Monterey. And then from there, I'll be back Wednesday for the trade room. So, yeah, you guys have a good night. I'm gonna get some sleep. We will have a good live trade room in the morning. If any of you guys are interested in looking into that live trade room or checking out the live trade plans, you can scroll down on the YouTube video, and our website is there, thetradevets.com. Click on the website, and you'll see all the options and stuff. We've had a pretty good, have some pretty good trading lately. You know, had some nice volatility that we've been able to capture. We've been ready for a lot of the moves. Most of our people, we're starting to see a couple of weeks of green in a row. I think one of our traders just had his first profitable month, which is amazing. So really cool to see everyone grow. But yeah, other than that, make sure you guys are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. Right? I think I'm gonna add make sure you have a trade plan. And if you don't know what a trade plan is, don't trade, and jump in the Discord down below and ask somebody. They'll help you. All right. You guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys all in the morning.